guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. A great big shout out to my channel members for supporting my channel. Thank you. Alright, so we are going to do some setup in my 2024 wellness journal. I've never had a wellness journal before, so this video is going to be chatty as I do the setup. The setup in and of itself is actually going to be very minimal, but I do have ideas on how to use the various sections. Now, while I'm going through this, if you guys could do me a huge favor, and in the comment section below, if there is something that you use when you are feeling low by way of a quote or a saying or a phrase or a scripture or whatever that you use when you're in a low point or in a funk and it helps you get out of that, I would love if you would write that down in the comment section, and I'll talk about what I'm going to be hopefully using that for once I get to my daily pages. Now for me, I'm a very emotional person. I also deal with a lot of anxiety and worry and stress, and so sometimes when I need to just kind of give myself a little mental break when I'm dealing with all of that, the phrase or the quote, and it's from a movie, that just makes me smile. It's not so much that it's uplifting, it gives me a little bit of a chuckle, is legends tell of a legendary warrior whose kung fu skills were the stuff of legend. That's from Kung Fu Panda, and I've said it before in another video, I remember. And again, it's not necessarily in and of itself motivational or positive. It's just, it makes me smile. So if you have something that does that for you, I'd love to know in the comment section below. I will be keeping a collection of it, but again, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me introduce the cast of characters. This is an A6 Hobonichi Hon, so it is more of a hardback cover. I do actually have a cover to go over this, but for filming purposes, I just took it off because of the glare. This is a new acquisition, but I specifically picked this up to be a wellness journal. This is an old A6 journal that I have back from 2022, and I'll talk about why I have that. I have pulled out some one-piece stickers that I have, so I'm going to put that to the side. I'm not going to be using all of these, but I do want to have a selection. For this, I plan to use these Uni Emote Everfine pens, as well as the Hobonichi Techo 2004 Uniball, so that I'll have this system together. I'll probably just rubber band it or whatever, just so that I'm always using the same products and I don't have to think about it. I did order some vellum and some textured paper from this shop on Etsy called Collage Whimsy. I'll link the shop below, not sponsored or affiliated. I got this to use in my creative journals, and there's just in packets by way of colorway. And then I've got a variety of different vellum sheets, some sayings, and then just some printed. I believe Annette had recommended using vellum to cover up some things, and I will be using this in my weeks when I do that setup, but I'll be doing that probably sometime in December, since I won't be using it until January. And I love seeing writing on a page, and then the music notes is just because it was available. So that I'll put away because I've already cut out what I'm going to need. And the last thing is this. It's not actually the Cool watercolor pencils, it's just the tin, but this is where I keep all of my anime related stickers. Now all of these little sets here are One Piece related. These little sets here are actually various different anime, and I've shown all these before on my channel. Same with this. This is just various different animes, but all just in the same colorway. And then I've got this, which is sticker sheets that are all from different anime. I actually will be setting up a anime journal, but I'll be doing that in another video. But I like to keep them all in one place just so that when I know I need it, this is where I come. I think this is the girl from Demon Slayer, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to put that all in here. And I know it might, for some, it might seem a little ridiculous to have this much anime stuff, but I do enjoy it. I'm also a working professional and I do what I want. So let me put this aside because we're not going to need this, and I'll be right back. Now, the reason I wanted to create a wellness journal is I want to track some of my health issues, and I have quite a bit. I also wanted to be mindful of my mental health, and so I thought I'd have something where I can come into on a daily basis, and I wanted it separate from my everyday carry, but I also wanted this to be kind of simple and straightforward, because if I had it, you know, and spend an hour or two in here just playing around, cool. But more than likely, I don't only want to spend a few minutes every single day just to do sort of a check-in so that I can create a habit that I can maintain. Because my creative journals, I enjoy doing them, but they are time consuming, and sometimes I'm just not in the headspace for that. But having just a little system where I can set up on a weekly basis and then every day go in and just update that's sitting here right at my desk, I'm hoping will help me be just a little bit more in tune with my mental, my physical, my emotional health. So as I set this up, actually, let me put this back in the cover because that'll help me with some things. I ordered the cover that comes with it, again, because it's plastic. The glare is insane, but it helps me figure out placement on this side. So that came with it. I'm going to keep that. For this front section, I want to put a little quote from one of those vellum sheets and then just a sticker. And that's as simple as that's going to be. So I just cut this out with scissors, so the edges are not that straight, but honestly, they don't need to be. So I'm going to just put some adhesive and cut that down. And then I've got some washi tape, just some random ones, and I think I'm going to use this green one. More of a decorative element than I need to actually keep it down. Maybe I'll do a little bit of layering. Now the reason why, and I'm doing this in pieces because I'm filming this on my lunch break and I've got actually a few things going on simultaneously, but I initially thought I'd create a gratitude journal. But as I was testing out some things in that other A6, and again, I'll show you that in a little while, I realized that I have a lot to be grateful for. I am a single working professional. I do what I want. I buy what I want. I have a roof over my head, food that's accessible. I've got a rewarding job, even though it's a little frustrating sometimes, or a lot of times lately. But I'm in a good place. And when I was thinking about things I was grateful for, it always seemed to come back to, got a good job, I do what I want, I have a roof over my head, and it was just hard for me to kind of think about, well, if I'm going to do this for 365 days, how is it going to be different from every single day? I don't lead a very exciting life. I don't want to lead a very exciting life. I'm very happy where I am in that regards, but I do want to be a little bit more positive, even just for 5 minutes a day. I definitely tend to lean towards sassy, sarcasm, snarky in order to get through my day. Realistic pessimism, pessimistic realism, however you want to phrase it, I lean more towards that. But I do want to just, if not be super positive, just be thankful, but in a different way. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm trying to figure this out as I'm going along, seeing as how it's not something that I've ever done. Oh, I will be getting rid of these because I don't use them. So I'm just rip those out. And so as I'm going through the different sections here, that's really what my mindset is in regards to my wellness planner. For this one, again, I'm going to just put a simple sticker There probably won't be a lot of stickers in the actual daily pages. I did order some cling stamps so I can do some stamping, because when I get into the daily section I'll tell you or show you how this is kind of set up already. So I just want to use some One Piece related stickers in the setup section. I don't know that I'll actually be using a calendar, but I'm going to leave 2024 available. I did cut out one of those vellum sheets and I'm going to put it down here because I don't need that. And so let me put some tape down on here. And this one I'm actually going to tape directly down to the page because I don't need those calendars, and even though you can see through it, it effectively just makes it disappear for me. But I will be tipping in a different section. And so just to line this up, if some of it still peeks through, I'm perfectly okay with that. And then I want to put a sticker here. Yep, I like that one. And if you're not familiar with One Piece, it is an anime out of Japan. It is based on One Piece manga. It has been running for over 25 years. I believe there's over 1,000 episodes. I am currently rewatching it from the beginning, and it's a shonen, so it's very action, friendship-based anime, and I think it's interesting. So I am, if you can't tell, a little obsessed. When it comes into these pages here, I have been debating on what to use for them. And I think where it's going to be, and because I'm not going to use this in January or any part of 2025, I'm using this page right here as a tester. So originally I thought I would do just tracking various things, but I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. From a health perspective, I just want to maintain status quo. Things hurt every day. So if they can just hurt in the same usual way, cool. It's if things are a little worse than usual, do I want to track that down? So I've determined that this might be the way. So on the day or days that something's happening, I would just track just a few words of what's actually going on versus doing it on a daily check-in. Did I do self-care today? Did I do movement today? Did I eat fruits and vegetables today? Because this I think I can do in a different section. So because I'm using that as a tester, I don't want to glue anything down. So I'm going to just tip this in. Again, another one of those sheets. And the way that I tip in is I use a protractor just because this is very thin, but it's also solid. I could use my pencil board, but this is actually slightly thicker. So I'm just going to use this. And it's awkward on camera, so just be warned. But I wrap the tape so that sticky side is facing out. Don't care if there's fingerprints, and I'm going to kind of line that up where I want it. And then I'm going to jam this into that seam and kind of do that and do that. And then I'll do one more piece here. So we're just pretty much just hinging it in, but I still have access to that back sheet. I'm not going to put a sticker on here just because it's going to make this heavy, but in an uneven way. Whew, that was hard to say. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do in this section. I won't actually start tracking anything in December just because there's no corresponding daily pages, and I don't use this as a planner, so I don't need December. So if anything, I might just fill that in with decorations, but that's something for off camera. Yeah, because I don't have anything that'll fit in perfectly Well, no, I'm a liar. That actually fits rather well. So let me just put him down. And this is Luffy. He is the pirate captain, and he is going to be Pirate King. Okay, so that section is done. In the monthly section, again, I am not going to be using December, but I did test out some things in here. And so originally I thought I would do just keywords of the day, but I can do this in my everyday carry. And to be honest, as I was doing this, seeing it like this, again, my days are very similar. I do laundry on the weekends. Once a month, I run errands with my dad. What might change is I might be more productive or less productive at work. At home, I'm either reading or watching anime. I mean, it doesn't change a lot. And so that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I thought, well, then I will just do some doodling and just some random journaling if I want to, because I don't want this to become a chore or a burden. So if I don't end up using the monthly pages, well, then I don't use the monthly pages. It's no big deal. It's not the reason I purchased the system. But if I do anything, again, it's just going to be just doodling in here, and then maybe some journaling, or just maybe lots of extra doodling. It does have the entire 2024 plus the first 3 months of 2025. Again, I don't need any of that, so I'm not going to be using it. But in the daily pages, and this I'll do deco, I actually probably right before the new year begins, just to set up. It is One Piece related, so there are in various parts of this different pieces of the manga in here. So the reason I purchased the cling stamps is so that on a daily basis I won't be adding bulk by way of stickers, because if I added a sticker every day, and I think I actually have enough that I could do that, this is going to get real chunky by the end of the year, and I do not like a gator mouth. So I'm just going to stamp. If there is nothing on the page, or if I don't have a lot to write, then it just takes up some of the space. When it gets into each month, there is a bigger anime that kind of introduces, or manga panel that introduces the month. All of the months have different colors. I didn't see, I'm not actually going to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 line up the colors. If I'm going to use colors, it's either going to be this or it's going to be that uni ball in here. But that's my plan for this. Now, I did some testing again. I've been thinking about this. And originally I thought I would do a daily check-in. And we'll talk about this in a bit. And so I would check in with my mental health. I would check in with my physical health, do an overall thing, and then something I was grateful for. And I thought, okay, well, if I'm doing that once a week, that kind of makes sense. But doing that every single day, when most of my days are very much similar, seems dumb. Okay, so I don't like that. All right, so let me do something smaller. Let me do a body talk check-in, thoughts, which sort of be like a mental health check-in, and then something snarky, which I prefer, and something sweet, because balance. Well, I kind of like that idea, but I'm doing this on a weekly basis in my everyday carry. And again, if I'm trying to look at a check-in from a tracking standpoint, that's not useful if I have to look at every single day. Okay, so I thought, okay, well, let me do a scaling system where I'm looking at various sections of my body and then my mental health and rating it. Now, I want equilibrium, so I want to maintain 3 of 5. So if it's not good, then it's actually going to be like a 2 or a 1. And if it's awesome, it's going to be a 4 or 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I thought, okay, well, that seems more reasonable. But again, if I want this as a tracker, then I'd also have to track my daily stats somewhere else, because I don't want to have to look at every single day, right? And I could do that in the monthly section if I wanted to, and that might be an idea. But I'm like, that's so much work. And I know me well enough that if I'm just having one of those days where I don't want to sit at my desk more than I absolutely have to, this is not going to get done, and then it defeats the purpose. And then things that make me smile, again, am I doing it just to fill up a page? Right? Or am I trying to be purposefully intentional? And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to look for a positive quote. And if I fill that out for the week, then all I need to do is on a daily basis, come in and think about what that means in that moment. Because I don't actually reread journals, but in that moment I want to think of something positive or something joyful or something that makes me think of gratitude or being grateful or being appreciative. And that's why I'm asking you guys if you can put comments. And I think I'm going to show this on a weekly basis, and I'm going to keep asking you guys. So just something that strikes you full of joy or positivity or motivation or whatever, just something that gets you moving into that sort of direction. And I think that will set me up so that I am doing just a little bit of journaling every single day, but doing it with the purpose of being positive. And I'm hoping that it will help my overall mental health process. Now, getting back to this. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to track those things I talked about earlier, and then just put the number corresponding. So if I'm maintaining equilibrium, but this set of days I had a really bad headache that took a few days to go by, and then I get back to equilibrium, then at the end of the month I could add that up. But again, if I'm trying to maintain equilibrium, 3s, where everything hurts just about the same as it always does, then this becomes pointless after a while. Because really, I just want to focus on the days where I'm not and seeing if there's any patterns. Hence why I think this system right here might be a good idea, where I'm just marking the days where things are a little worse than usual or a lot worse than usual, but at least I can see overall what it would look like. Now, I have no problem changing things up. So if, I start this in 2024 and I realize, nope, I do need that daily tracker like this, then I can, change it up for the following month. But I also like testing things out prior to things starting, especially new systems, just because if I'm trying to figure out what it is that I need, this helps me do that. I'm going to use this here. This is a pencil board that I've purchased, and it's really just going to be a placeholder to get me to the daily page. So to get me to here. And then there are some note pages in the back. Quite a few, actually. And I'm not 100% sure what I'll be doing there. If it's going to be journaling, if it's going to be setting up some trackers, I'm not sure, but I know that it's there, so I'm just going to keep it there. And then the only other thing I have in here is just a blotter page. I'm just going to keep this in the back just to dry some ink. But otherwise, when I watch these wellness videos, they're very intensely tracking things and lots of journaling and things, but I know me. And I know that if it takes too much time, I'm not going to do it. And so I'm hoping I'm setting up a system for myself that gives me the best chance of being successful at doing it, because I do want to track health things. I also want to have at least one moment every single day where I'm thinking in a positive or a good or a happy or just from that perspective point of view, because then the rest of it will be snarky or sassy. And then just giving myself a system where it's easy to get to, it's easy to maintain, and I can see the value of doing. And again, if you can leave me a positive quote or thought or message or whatever. I didn't even really reference that. So what I plan to do with those is keep a collection of them and write them down like I did with that example right there. That's just something I found on the internet. And then I would mark who left that. And then again, on that day, I would just write down my thoughts on that. Yeah, sort of buried the lead there. So if you're still here, thanks for staying until this part of the video. Anyway, like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Do you do a wellness planner? Is it separate from your system, or is it part of your other journaling systems? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.